Alright guys, John here again from Zip Tie Racing. Just to let you know, this one's not held together by zip ties. It's got a couple on there, but it's not held together. It's held together by screws. Alright guys, as my video you seen last night, I told you, I can put diffs in this truck and you don't have to go back to the ones that are going to break. You can 3S it and have no problem. Well, I didn't go to bed till 5 o'clock this morning because I was so antsy. I just wanted to go to the shop. Wound up sleeping for 2 hours. The shop usually don't open until 10 o'clock on Saturdays, and I was there at 7. And I was waiting for the boss to text me because as soon as somebody walks in the shop, it dings on his phone. So I got to the shop early. I took the trash out, did a few things before, I started laying it in this thing and start taking it apart. The front was the first one I did because I knew it was broken automatically. So I wanted to vet the parts before I started opening everything else. So I did one at a time. So I got to the shop. I pulled the parts out. Dry fitted the diff to make sure everything would work on the diff with the ring gear that I found and all the internals of the upgraded diff. So it all went together seamlessly. When I got it all together, it seemed like it was tight with no fluid in it, and I kind of like geeked out. I'm like, oh no, I can't spin it with my fingers. I'm like, there's no oil in this, so it ain't gonna be smooth. So I stuck a little 1.5 through one of the holes for the axles and spun it, and it was actually really, really easy. So I was like, heck yeah, sweet. So I made sure it all worked. I put it in the truck, dry fitted it, didn't put any fluid in it. Then I was like, it all works. I'm like, heck yeah. So I pulled it all back out, put 30,000 weight in the front for differential fluid, and it worked from there. I was like, heck yeah, here we go. So I went outside, beat it up this morning, drove it around the parking lot, and did endos and stuff. It was pretty cool. And now I know why the diffs are blowing, because on the TQ remote, you can't adjust the brake. So as soon as you hit the brake, the rear end's lifting up off the ground, and it's putting all that stress on those gears in the front. So like I said the other day, the diffs that are in it originally are pieces from a two-wheel drive Stampede, Rustler, Slash, all that stuff. So who wants to spend the money on it, make it 3S, and then keep blowing them the gears out of it? The gear set is going to be $15.99. You buy 4 of those, that's $60. You know, you buy another 4, that's like 120. So just think, if you blow one in the front, you're going to blow one in the back. If you blow one in the back, you're going to blow it in the front. It's going to cost you money. So I figured out the parts, so we're going to open them up, we're going to put them together, we're going to pre-sell them, we're going to do all sorts of crazy stuff for this car. I went in and vetted it this morning for my boss, so he didn't have to do all the stuff. Like, he kind of is not a Traxxas fan like I am, but he has a lot of knowledge on trains, planes, gas-powered cars, all that stuff. RC cars is like my forte. I don't fly, I don't play with trains or anything like that. I do like to build a lot, but the one thing I do with Traxxas cars is 99.8% of the time I use factory Traxxas parts to make this truck better. I was the first one to do it with the Stampede. They came out with the cold weather kit, and it comes with the knuckles, the rear knuckles, the caster blocks that steer, the A-arms and all that. Well, my Stampede is 8 years old, and I wound up getting all those parts and throwing it on there. Like, every few years they come out with new parts for the Stampede, so I just take the new parts and put it on my old one, and it just changes a little bit every year. And like, I know how to do this stuff. Look up the part numbers, but it also helped me having all the parts behind me on the shelf, and not knowing the part numbers, but I looked at it and I'm like, that's gotta work. I'm like, that'll definitely work with the other diff cup, and it did. Like I said, I dry fitted it all this morning, put it all together, pushed it, gave it a little gas, all sorts of crazy stuff. Then I took it all back apart and put 30,000 in it, 30,000 weight diff fluid in the front. So I was like, heck yeah, here we go. So I took it outside, started bombing it around, no issues. The only thing I got to do is turn down the brake on it, because it just seems like it's way too harsh. When you go and hit the trigger, it just wants to flip over instead of rolling to a slow. So yeah, dude, it's nuts. That's why the front ones were blowing. So it'd put all that tension on the front as you're trying to stop, and it would just eat the gears right in half. From there, like I said, I'm like a Traxxas nut. I wanted this thing to be cool. I'm putting a fan on it probably by the end of the week. You can't put one on the motor. You probably could, but you're going to be limited to space. You can't twist the fan off to the side so it's on an angle because it'll hit the body. It's just way too high. You can't rock the motor too far this way towards the center because as soon as you turn it, it hits the pot that goes up right here, and you can't really do anything. So you try and rock it back this way. Next thing you know, you have the wires stuff down here, and it's like right up against this wire and this one, and it just doesn't seem like it's a good fit because it would loop back around here and then come over, but there was nothing over here to hold the wire down like I have here. Like I have a little clip that I super glued to the box right there, that little thing right there. I super glued it to the box because the two-way tape wouldn't hold it on, and then I re-ran the wires around like this, because if you looped it and then tried putting it there like and zip tie it, it would slowly lean over and go into the body, and it would affect putting the body on. So the way it took me like probably 3 hours to figure out how to run these things, just so I could put a fan on this. You know, I want to run a fan. I run fans in all my stuff. I always keep them cool. Yeah. Like I said, guys, I upgraded the diffs. I'm going to do the center next with a drive shaft that we already have at the shop. All we got to do is just measure it out, cut it down, and I can put a diff right in this thing. Or it's going to be a slipper clutch if they don't come out with the slipper clutch or the gear soon for the slipper clutch, because a stock slipper clutch, if we had a 47 tooth gear, we could just put it right on that and put it right in the truck and we'd be done. Because when you do the diff upgrades, you already have... Oh, I'm not going to say that, Pop, because you can figure it out real quick. Never mind. I'm going to keep that to myself. So, yeah, like this truck's beautiful. It's awesome. It drives good. You know, it does tumble a little bit, but guaranteed Traxxas makes a wide kit for this thing. Or they'll probably make another one that's a little bit longer and then a little bit wider, and it's going to come with a bunch of upgrades that time when they do it. This is what I think, because what I think is when they try and build the car, or they want to come up with something and they have thousands of pots left over from other cars that don't sell because people don't know what they go to, I swear to God, they sit in a room with a bunch of smart people, throw all these pots on the table and say, hey, make me a car out of this. We got thousands of this, thousands of that just sitting in the warehouse. We need to get rid of this stuff. So that's how I think they built these diffs, just so they could get rid of the stock that they had that nobody buys anymore because of certain pots that remake themselves, or they remake them and they're just a better pot. All right, guys, I want you to do me a big favor. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's blow this up. Like, guys, help me out with my YouTube channel. The other videos, I want to thank you guys for watching them. My analytics went up. Like, I got a lot of views on it. It couldn't believe it. I got a couple subscribers, not many. A lot of people don't subscribe, so they just watch the videos. And the cool thing is, you guys are watching them from start to finish. You're not stopping halfway through to see if you can find pot numbers. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Love yous. Happy Thanksgiving.